Well folks, I'm just about to commence my cliff top walk here in West Waterford, in the picturesque seaside village of Ardmore. The termination point for the St. Declan's Way. Very historic town, and I'll take you around the cliff top coastal walk and we see how we get on. So I invite you all once again to come and join me. I'm dressed for the occasion today, not taking any chances. The wind is howling, the rain is severe, but presently the sun is shining. So let's go and take on this walk, the third cliff top coastal walk in 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. The beginning of this walk is a little road from the village, and now we've come to even a smaller road with grass up the centre. One of the roads that I keep referring to as roads less travelled, though this one is travelled a lot, but mostly by people on foot, either beginning or finishing their cliff top walk. But the shelter here is at minimum, and here on my right and on my left hand side it's agricultural land, and from looking at it from this morning's perspective, it was land that had grain growing on it last year and is still untended for any future crop for this year. But I remember the land here on the left and the right many years ago. It used to have mostly carrots, the vegetable crop of carrots growing on it. But now it has the remnants of winter barley from last year. But this is a wind-swept location here. It is truly a wind-swept location. But because it's middle of week, I think I'm going to have it all to myself again today. I want to thank you all for tagging along in the walk so far this year. 6 weeks into a new year, and much walking has been done together. So we're going to continue to trend right up to the end of the year if the fella above leaves us alone and continues to give us the strength and determination and the resilience and the willpower and the ability to do so. Overnight we had some torrential rain for hours on end, and you can see the legacy here on the road as I now come off the secondary road, less travelled, and eventually go to single file cliff top pathway. So this is the beginning of the cliff top walk in earnest. You can see there's a no cycling sign here in front of you, and the red arrow points you in direction of Ardmore cliff top walk. So here we go. Now there has been much maintenance and some good money spent on this track over the few years, and I think even more so since COVID. It can be quite wet at times. Now here in front of me there's a gateway. There's a deviation track surrounded by a dry stone wall to the left of it. Why I'm showing you this and make reference to it is, if you were wheelchair bound here and this gate was locked, you'd have to go back. Now I'll keep you informed as regards wheelchair friendliness as I go through this, But from memory, I think that this is a wheelchair friendly track. There are some steps further down, and I need to look at those because the track down there has been restored and renovated somewhat, and it may not be wheelchair friendly along that portion, but we'll have a look as we go along. But here you've got a gate. Presently it's unlocked, so at least you come up here, you can open the gate and go through. Were you wheelchair bound? Once more, before I continue on my merry wind-swept way, once more I need to bring your attention. I know you're not idiots, and perhaps you're sick and tired of me talking about wandering and straying onto private lands. Stay out of private lands. We don't want to be rattling the cages of landowners that kindly allow us wanderers and walkers and whatever else we can call ourselves to close down access to places like these. It would be a real pity. So stay on the guided, signed trailway. As a great walker, I appreciate all access to places like these, and I make sure that I do not cause any grief to landowners. Now along here, sporadically again along the track, you've got this seating. This one is situated in a grand viewpoint. As you can see, that's your view when you're sitting down. Now that's this morning with the sun shining and the gale force wind blowing in on you. But this place is a spectacular walkway, and it's hugely, I can't emphasize enough, hugely popular, especially at the weekends. It is crazily popular. So be prepared to do a lot of sharing as you traverse the Ardmore clifftop walk. The ocean this morning is at boiling point. It truly is. So the sun shines, and I'm grateful for that. But I'm prepared for all weather eventualities, whether the sun shines or the rain comes and the wind blows. I'm going to keep on trekking. Now folks, getting back to the wheelchair accessibility and friendliness, it's quite possible with a particular wheelchair, I suppose you'll be able to get yourself around here. You could possibly maneuver yourself and get through here. If you had help, well, I suppose there wouldn't be much of a problem. But bear in mind, it is an obstacle that needs overcoming. Now folks, here on my Ardmore clifftop walk, I've come across Father O'Donnell's Holy Well. There's a little stream, a little seed under the stone archway, flowing through, flowing down the edge of the cliff there and on down into the ocean. Father O'Donnell's Well is known to locals and visitors alike. Situated here at the termination of the section of cliff pathway which has been improved by the county council. It is in a little hollow on the cliffs of the Coolum, the Cup and Saucer Rock on the eastern side of the little bay. The present edifice surmounting the well dates from 1928, when a Mr. J.P. Raleigh from Limerick spent some time here in Ardmore and decided to make it the Irish Lourdes. Prior to that, the well had been lined by stones, not the present ones, and a very low wall surrounding it with a semicircular flat stone on top. This still remains. Great curative properties were attributed to the waters, especially in the case of eye ailments. There was never any tradition of pilgrimage, rounds or prayers. As often as not, someone was sent out to Father O'Donnell's well to bring the holy water home. A number of instances were cited of improvements or cures after using this water. In at least one case where this occurred, it was to the amazement of the local GP, Dr. Foley, who had forecast problems, loss of vision. Now, I would have thought that I would have had this walk to myself, but I did say to you it's hugely popular. So there are a few stragglers in front of me and a few coming along behind me. But hey, it's here for all to enjoy. So we share the wild and woolly conditions today. I can hold the equipment steady and face into this south approaching gale. It's around 68 kilometers an hour according to the app, and it's gathering momentum. It's quite chilly here. It's very, very wild. The sun is dodging the clouds on and off, but it's dry. I'm alive, I'm well, and I'm out here in the great outdoors once again, filling the old body, especially the lungs, with fresh oxygen. Good frame of mind. I'm a prisoner to nobody today, and I'm feeling on top of the world. Standing here, literally, I think that's what it feels like to me. But the waves are furious and vicious, and the sea is boiling. If you get your body up here on a day as windy as it is right now, like it is right now, just take care. Don't go again, and I must bring your attention to this on every walk. Don't go wandering to the edge of a gully or a precipice, chasing down that photograph. It's not worth it. Take your photograph from afar, and you'll get back home to your family safe and well. It's another obstacle to get through, but over time the pathway, instead of going through the little stile there on your right, it's meandering around it, so you get your wheelchair around here no problem. Now, I don't know what this is here. They're surely not selling the clifftop land, but you can see from the wind it's been buffeted around the place. And I gotta hold on to my hat, and that's going to go towards the moon at a furious pace. When you come out any morning or any day on your walk, I'm sure you all return home feeling all the better. When you come out on a morning like this, and there's this ferocious gale chasing you down, I go home feeling awfully better. And the view there is to die for. But the ocean is in turmoil. There's no peace and quiet from the ocean today. In fact, there's hardly a seabird to be seen hovering around the coast there. It's pretty wild and woolly. Now, if you can hear me over the wind and the sound of the ocean there crashing on the shore, I would acquire spectacular pictures by the drone this morning if I was prepared, willing and brave enough to fly it. But certainly not putting an expensive machine over the coast there to chase down spectacular photos and videos. It ain't gonna happen, folks. It's going to stay in the backpack because it's my goodness, it's ready. Woo! It's pretty bad now. You can see pockets of foam rising up from the ocean surface as it crashes onto the rocks. It's just been buffeted up into the air. Large pockets of sea foam.
The Ardmore Cliff Walk is a breathtaking journey along the stunning coastline of County Waterford, offering visitors a unique blend of natural beauty, rich history, and invigorating outdoor activity. This looped trail is perfect for walkers of all ages and fitness levels, making it an ideal destination for families, couples, and solo adventurers.
My last cliff-top walk from last week at Ballycotton was the coldest walk of my life. Today, in contrast to the cold, I have the wind. So today has been the windiest one. The windiest walk that I've been out for a long time. You can see there is blowing the fence line around the place like a feather.
The first tower emerged during the tumultuous Napoleonic Wars, a critical early warning system designed to protect Ireland from potential French invasion. Strategically positioned to command an expansive view of the surrounding seascape, this tower represents a pivotal moment in Ireland's defensive strategy.
As I was saying to you earlier, this is how I accumulate extra miles or kilometers on my walks. Every time you step off the track, you're adding to your distance.
The Ardmore Clifftop Walk is approximately 4.25 kilometers in length. So depending on your ability and your walking prowess, you should get through in an hour and a half without any problem. It's rated as easy with gradual ascents and descents, making it accessible for most walkers. And you can start at the Cliff House Hotel near Ardmore Beach. But I started my walk this morning at the graveyard, St. Declan's graveyard.
Today is surely the windiest walk. Oh my God! Today has been the windiest walk I've ever had in my life. But you know something? The word is invigorating. It's not a huge walk. Not a huge walk, but it's the third of the coastal way cliff-top walks.
The second lookout tower is situated overlooking Ram Head and the Celtic Sea. This single-storey, single-room lookout was constructed by the Irish government in one day in 1940. It was used during World War II by Coast Watch personnel to log all ships and aircraft that passed Ardmore. It had a telephone connection to the Ardmore post office to warn of any dangers.
That's another wreck, like the one that foundered off Ballycotton Bay, the MV Alta, which I showed you on the last walk last week. This one was being towed and it broke loose and it foundered here.
The crane barge Samson had left Liverpool on the 9th of December 87, bound for Valletta in Malta. Though the barge was initially being towed by a tugboat, the tow line parted in near gale force conditions while off the Welsh coast on December the 11th. The two men on board the barge were rescued by an RAF Sea-King helicopter from RAF Brodie after attempts to connect the tow line failed. The barge eventually ran aground here at Ram's Head in Ardmore at approximately 7:50 a.m. on the 12th of December. Dangerous pollutants were removed soon after the barge went aground. But despite questions being raised in Dáil Éireann, the wrecked barge was not salvaged and remains here in situ. The ship's propeller was removed and put on display in the village of Ardmore. In 2016, the entire jib collapsed into the sea.
Well, I'm out of the wind and the gale force effect, and I'm here after passing around the headland at Ardmore, and I'm looking into Ardmore Bay. It's pretty churned up. The wind is rather violent offshore, but the waves are still crashing beneath me and up against the wreck of that skeleton wreck here on the rocks to my right hand side and in front of me. But in the sunshine it's beautiful. In fact, one could remove the outer garment, but too much effort in taking the backpack off and undoing all the paraphernalia. But it's a gorgeous morning here now. It's about 11 o'clock and it's 12 degrees. Tropical 12 degrees. I did tell you that this pathway can be rather busy, and as you can see, as the morning progresses, human beings have made their presence upon it. Now, even though this has been resurfaced, the pathway has been resurfaced over the past year or so, you can get quite deep puddles of water. Now, coming down here as I continue on my trek, I'm coming to some steps. As I said to you earlier, I had a feeling that there were steps on this walk. So when you get to here now, and where you wheelchair bound, I'm afraid you would be in some sort of difficulty, because they're quite steep and it's coming down a hill, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 11 or 12 or 13 steps here. It's when you stand here on the precipice, you can truly see the power of nature. Now, coming into view there, the remains of a stone church, is St. Declan's Hermitage. And it was here that I terminated my St. Declan's Way walk from Cashel in County Tipperary to Ardmore in West Waterford. Over 5 days I walked from Cashel to Ardmore, and I finished my walk doing this cliff walk, and finally finished it here at the Hermitage, St. Declan's Hermitage. A walk that I can highly recommend, but I thoroughly enjoyed. Weather was gorgeous, the countryside was magnificent, and the peace and quiet was truly astounding. A walk that will always remain with me. It left a legacy of sincerity, peace, quiet in my life.
Nestled at the start of the breathtaking cliff walk here in Ardmore lies a site of profound historical and spiritual significance, St. Declan's Well and Hermitage. This ancient well is not just a water source, it's a gateway to Ireland's rich heritage, steeped in the legacy of one of its earliest saints. Legend has it that St. Declan, who founded a seminary in Ardmore around 416 AD, used this very well as a baptistery long before St. Patrick arrived in Ireland in 431 AD. The well served as a vital spiritual hub for early Christians in the region, marking Ardmore as a significant centre of Christianization. Imagine St. Declan, a dedicated missionary, retreating to this tranquil spot to reflect and pray. It is here that he constructed a small cell beside the well, seeking solitude from the throngs of pilgrims drawn to his teachings. The Holy Well is adorned with 3 medieval stone crucifixions, integrated into its modern masonry, symbolizing its enduring connection to faith. St. Declan's Well is more than just a historical landmark. It's a living testament to faith, resilience and community spirit that has thrived for centuries here in Ardmore. So, whether you seek healing, reflection, or just wish to immerse yourself in Ireland's ancient traditions, visiting this sacred site promises an unforgettable experience steeped in history and spirituality.
And I'm now reaching the village of Ardmore.
When you will come my way, when you will come my way, I risk my heart each day for you to come my way. Love comes in many ways. Without you the sky is gray. You move with different cadence, so smooth your mystical.
Geologically different from other rocks in the area, St. Declan's stone, according to ancient folklore, miraculously floated across the ocean, carrying St. Declan's bell after his servants forgot to pack it. He decreed that wherever this stone came to rest would be the place where he would set up his episcopal residence, and hence Ardmore became Ireland's first Christian settlement in the early 5th century.
Now I'm here in Ardmore and I'm walking the promenade. I've just passed St. Declan's stone, marooned on the rocks back there. And I met a guy and he said, "Cameraman, if you have a bad back, climb under that stone and it'll cure you." And I said to him that perhaps if I did climb under, I will end up with a bad back.
The SS Folia was a 430-foot long, two-funneled, twin-screwed passenger liner built in 1907 and owned by Cunard Limited when lost. During World War I, she was armed with a 12-pounder stern gun. While bound from New York to Bristol with a 4,400-ton cargo of trench-digging machinery, brass bars, shell cases and general cargo, she was torpedoed by a German U-boat on the 11th of March 1917, approximately 4 miles south-east of Ram Head. Over 1,600 years ago, Saint Declan was dispatched to Ireland from Rome by Pope Celestine I. Since then, Ardmore has never lost its association with Declan, with stories of his life and miracles fascinating generations over the centuries. While war and disturbances have occasionally clouded Ardmore's history, thankfully these have been rare occurrences. Today, Ardmore's timelessness continues to attract pilgrims and visitors seeking a place of beauty and tranquility. The town's historical sites can be explored in an hour or so, but with such a rich and deep history, a single visit only hints at what this enchanting place has to offer.
Well, I'm still on foot and I'm traversing the picturesque tranquility that is Ardmore village. The weather continues to be sunny. We've had 2 showers of rain which were rather heavy in their indulgence, but it didn't prevent me from continuing on my way. And as I still continue on my way, I'm going to visit this old church here.
St. Paul's Church here in Ardmore was built between 1835 and 1840 and dated 1838 by the incision on the tower. The church is built on a cross plan with 3 A pinnacles. The church's octagonal front is said to reach back to the 16th century and came from Declan's Cathedral. In the church there is also a silver chalice dating 1726, restored to the church by the antiquarian Robert Day after it had disappeared from the church. The church was consecrated on September the 15th, 1841.
Folks, when I completed my 5-day odyssey, traversing St. Declan's Way from Cashel to here in Ardmore, in County Waterford, I was passing up here to complete the final stretch, which was the cliff top walk, and on my way back to the final finishing point at the St. Declan's Hermitage. Passing up here, the caretaker was in situ and he allowed me inside the church. So if you go and track down stage 5 of my Declan's Way trek, the final stage, stage 5, you'll get a look at the interior of this church. It's now locked up and you can't get in, but he brought me in and he showed me around, and there's a very, very historical water font. Now, I'm not finished yet. I have the mother and father of a hill here on Rocky Road to climb up to my round tower experience, and I want to show you the final resting place of St. Declan. So at the end of my long cliff top walk here in Ardmore in County Waterford, I arrive here at St. Declan's burial chamber. But here you walk in historic footsteps. This is a very, very historical place, and a place well worth a visit. So if you're in these parts of West Waterford, put Ardmore on your bucket list.
Known locally as the Bannockon, this small oratory is believed to have been built over the burial site of St. Declan. It is similar to other tomb shrines built around this period. Sadly, there was no access on my visit as the metal gate was locked. A flagstone that covered the saint's grave has long gone, probably due to relic collecting. A hollow in the southeast corner is now pointed out as the grave. The oratory dates to around the 8th century, with later renovations to the upper walls. It was re-roofed in 1716. Tradition states that the monastery of St. Declan was founded by St. Declan of Ardmore in the 5th century. Ultan was the abbot in AD 550. The Ogham stones are of the 5th or 6th century, while the stone chancel dates to the 9th century. St. Declan's Oratory was built in the 9th or the 10th century to hold the founder's relics, while the Round Tower was built in the 12th century and is considered one of the last such towers to be built. In 1174, the abbot's name was Eugene. The nave was added in the 12th century. It shows distinctive Romanesque arcading, with several Christian themes carved in stone, within 2 lunettes and a blind arcade. Originally they would have been painted in bright colours, but are now bare stone and badly eroded by 800 years of wind and rain. Some are still recognisable as Adam and Eve, the Adoration of the Magi, the Judgment of Solomon, and Michael Archangel weighing souls. A bishop's blessing, a warrior, possibly a crusader image, or the conversion of the Deshe Muman to Christianity is also visible. These may have been inspired by similar carvings at pilgrimage sites such as Rome or Santiago de Compostela. Ardmore became a cathedral in 1152. The seat of the Bishop of Ardmore, Mael Itan Uduvraha, who was suffragan to the Bishop of Cashel. By the 13th century, the title was abolished and the diocese merged into Lismore, but the church still remained the name Ardmore Cathedral. The arch was added in the late 12th or 13th century. It lies on a base 142 centimetres high. The moulding of the archivolt is elaborate, and the capitals are sculptured with lotus buds. The church is recorded as being finished in 1203, when Mael Ethan U Duovraha died. Further work on the south wall and east gable was completed in the 14th century. Under the Irish Church Act 1869, money was allocated for the cathedral's preservation. The Round Tower of Ardmore is one of Ireland's most impressive and historically significant structures. Built in the 12th century, this remarkable tower not only showcases exquisite craftsmanship, but also serves as a testament to the rich ecclesiastical heritage of Ardmore. Standing approximately 30 metres tall and measuring 5 metres in diameter at its base, the Ardmore Round Tower is a striking example of medieval architecture. Its unique design features 3 distinct external ring courses that taper elegantly towards the top, giving it a needle-like appearance. This architectural style is aesthetically pleasing and functional, as it was designed to withstand the elements and protect its inhabitants during times of conflict. One of the most intriguing aspects of the tower is its elevated doorway, positioned about 4.2 metres above the ground. This strategic placement required a long ladder for access, allowing monks to retreat to safety during raids. The grooves worn into the stone threshold by repeated use of ladders can still be seen today, offering a tangible connection to the past. The round tower was likely constructed during a power struggle between Ardmore and nearby Lismore during the 12th century. As local elites sought to assert their dominance, they used architecture to demonstrate their power. The tower served as a bell tower and as a refuge for monks and valuable manuscripts during Viking raids. Ardmore's round tower is believed to be one of the last built in Ireland, making it an important piece of architectural history. It reflects the transition from earlier wooden structures to more durable stone designs that characterized medieval monastic life. The tower has also witnessed historical events, including a siege in 1642, when English troops attacked it during conflicts in Ireland. Marks from musket balls can still be observed on the west elevation, serving as reminders of its tumultuous past. The site surrounding the round tower is rich with historical significance. It is believed to be associated with St. Declan, who founded one of Ireland's earliest monasteries in the 5th century. The nearby Ardmore Cathedral and St. Declan's Oratory further enhanced the spiritual atmosphere of the area, attracting pilgrims and visitors alike.
When I walk around places like these, I feel so privileged to be able to do so, to have this liberal approach to historic sites. So I'll ask you all to please just don't interfere with the monuments and the grave sites and so forth. Just leave your footprint and leave the sites for further generations to enjoy.
The Round Tower is more than just a historical monument. It symbolizes resilience and faith that has stood for nearly a millennium. Its architectural beauty and rich history invite visitors to explore and appreciate Ireland's medieval heritage. As you stand at its base and gaze up at its towering presence, take a moment to reflect on the countless stories it holds within its walls. Stories of monks seeking refuge, pilgrims paying homage, and communities coming together in faith. Visiting Ardmore's Round Tower offers a glimpse into Ireland's past and an opportunity to connect with the enduring spirit of this remarkable village in Ireland's ancient East. Whether you're an avid historian or simply seeking inspiration from nature and culture, Ardmore promises an unforgettable experience that will leave you enchanted by its beauty and its history.
Now folks, during this long trek this morning, I experienced great gales, some rain showers that were rather bitter and damaging, but I kept on my course and I finished my walk on the Ardmore Coast Cliff Walk here in the historic graveyard in the seaside village of Ardmore. We're pretty sheltered here to a point, but it's still too windy to put the bird in the air. So hopefully what I have filmed and recorded on the ground will be sufficient to give you some bit of entertainment. And if it's not, just let me know and I'll try and do better the next time. But I really and truly can't control the weather. Whilst the sun is shining, it's 13 degrees. So with that folks, I'm going to say good afternoon, which it now is to you all. Again, I want to thank you all for tagging along with me. You're great company, even though you're very quiet, but I'm a talker and a mover and I suppose a bloody shaker. So I'd have to do it all. A one-man job, unpaid. I'd have to start charging more for my time on these walks. So, with all that carry on and nonsense, this is the third of my coast cliff top walks in just over 2 weeks, 16 days to be precise. So I hope you enjoy this one, and once again thank you for tagging along. Look after each other and take care of each other. And from a sunny south coast village in West Waterford, Ardmore, I bid you farewell and good afternoon. Okay, God bless you all. Take care.